Hello, my name is Jodi Low, and this is the Leadership Lowdown, powered by the BBB and You and Improved. The Leadership Lowdown cuts through the clutter and gets to the heart of what makes businesses tick. We want to share the stories that matter to you, all of the successes and triumphs and all of the pitfalls, and everything that happens in between. So with that, let's get on to today's show.
Well, welcome to the Leadership Lowdown, and I'm here with Jennifer Barnes, CEO of Optima Office, Inc. So I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate
and you
it.
are a BBB board member.
I am.
Yes.
For
How many
about a
years
decade.
now? I was going to say it's been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
On the foundation board.
Okay, yeah. So 10 years. Yeah. My goodness. Time flies. Time flies. It's already 2025.
It's been about 10 years.
Yeah, well, great. Well, so happy you're here with us today. And obviously, as a part of Leadership Lowdown, we want to know all about you and your story and your background and how you got to do what you do. So, a business owner, you obviously started your company. So, tell us a little bit about the journey and when it all started.
Oh, goodness. I'll give you the short version.
Okay.
Well, I did go to college in Arizona.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we
Yes.
started. Although a wildcat, I mean, that's okay. That's okay. We won't hold that against you. No, just teasing.
Oh, that's funny. I know it's such a funny rivalry.
I know,
between
it
the
is.
two
It's
Arizona
crazy.
colleges.
It's crazy.
But it's been 25 years
Yeah.
since I've been here in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I started off as a staff accountant at Petco organization.
Okay.
And so it was the 9-to-5 grind.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fortunate enough after I left Petco to find a position where I became a controller pretty quickly.
Okay.
And helped to run a mortgage company that went from about a dozen people on fold-out picnic tables to one of the largest privately held mortgage companies in Southern California.
No kidding.
And
Wow.
I was their controller, and I picked the accounting software, and I had a whole team under me. So, here I am, 26 years old, helping to run a company. And so I got a pretty early start.
Yeah,
and
quick
jump start.
dive into it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumpstart into the career world of
Yeah.
being a controller and whatnot. So when the housing market crashed,
Yeah.
I decided to become a consultant for a large nationwide firm called Tatum.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about Tatum is that even though I was a controller, I would do work way below my level, but it was just like that one slot they're trying to fill. And so I would be getting coffee for board meetings. I'd run Costco runs. I'd be doing accounts payable, accounts receivable, like easy type of work. And
Yeah.
like that's not very cost effective.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, I went to TGG accounting, and they're almost completely the opposite, where they have a staff accountant, an accounting manager, a controller, and a CFO, and everybody does exactly what they're good at. It's kind of a, not one size fits all, but sort of.
Yeah.
A little more of a boxed kind of model. And so I kind of had two very different experiences in the consulting world.
Yeah.
And when I left TGG and I decided to go off on my own and start my own consulting practice, I wanted to use the best of everything.
Yeah.
And so I said, I want to have so much flexibility that if a company only needs a controller, they can have a controller. And if they want to have a whole team, they can have a whole team. And I also want to encompass HR because I think HR, doing payroll, benefit administration, all those other things really tie hand in hand with accounting.
Sure.
And so I created a very unique model and a very unique pay structure. The most important thing to me was to create a company where I would want to work if I was still consulting. So it was very people friendly, very, employees first. How can I take care of them? And that's how I started my first company.
Fantastic.
But I ran that company for about 6 years.
Okay.
And I made the mistake. Maybe in some ways it wasn't a mistake, and in some ways it was, of having partners. I had the wrong partners. We were not aligned. We were not on the same page in many ways. And so in 2017, the two guys who owned 55%, I owned 45. They're 20 years plus older than me. They decided, okay, little girl, you've kind of done enough. Let the big boys take over, and we are going to take you out of the CEO role.
Oh, wow.
And so I had built, 95% of the company at that point in time, brought in a lot of the revenue, and they had eliminated me from my role. Wow. And you'd think that was the end of it, but over that next year, they kind of devised a plan to get rid of me. And so in late 2018, September of 2018, late September, I was walked out with security from my own company. And
no kidding.
They had a locksmith there changing the locks as I was leaving. They had to devise this whole schemy plan on why I needed to exit the organization. And I wasn't going to let those guys decide my fate.
Yeah.
And so a few days later, this was on a Thursday. By Monday, I had already incorporated Optima Office Inc.
I love it.
I took about close to 30 people with me. I opened up an office just 100 yards right across the street from their space, signed an office lease, bought 40 laptops, QuickBooks licenses, insurance, anything you can think of, cloud servers. I mean, I had to completely start from scratch.
Yeah.
They, of course, didn't like that.
Uh-huh.
And I did own more than 5% of an S corporation, so the non-competes do hold up in that instance.
Oh, wow.
And so they sued me not to compete with them. We spent 1.5 years in litigation. Meanwhile, I'm still building.
Right.
I'm still growing and building. We did $3.5 million our first year in business.
Wow.
And we continue to grow from there. Fortunately for me, the judge sided with me. We had to settle the disagreement. They had to buy out my shares of the company at the valuation that was a little more fair. And so Optima Office was able to fully carry on with no baggage, no debt, no issues, no partners.
Wow.
And fast forward now, 7 years later, we are one of the fastest growing companies in America. We've been on the Inc. 5000 3 years in a row. We have about 108 employees currently. And we should do a little over 14 million this year, and hopefully next year 15 to 16.
Wow.
So it's been a great growth path, and I don't even hear about those guys anymore. They're probably half the size, and who knows, they're probably looking to exit.
Right,
Probably tired.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Jennifer, wow, what a story. So that is just, I mean, talk about lemonade out of lemons, right? And look what you've created and built.
I call it Limoncello.
Yeah, I like that. Even better. Limoncello. If we're going to do it, let's do it right.
Yeah.
I love it. So tell us about that journey. Obviously, you know, this sort of blindsided piece of it, but then also the quick turn. I went through something similar. So I have my personal experience with it, but if you haven't been through that, there's the there's all the things, the to-dos, the overwhelming amount of stuff, but there's also the emotional, how, where, what, and you question yourself. So tell us a little bit about what that was like, both psychologically as well as just the getting it done.
I mean, it was very tumultuous.
Yeah.
It was such a crazy time in my life.
Yeah.
Fortunately, my husband was very much on my side.
Good.
He said, you know what, let's take whatever savings we have and I'll let you build, and I know you'll do it. And so having him was just very helpful, because if not, if it's like, no, you're not spending our money, this and that. And so it was easier to start up having support. But, the blindsided, I think it's more of a fight or flight.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to let these guys decide my fate and tell me that I'm not worthy of being a CEO and running a company.
Yeah.
So I'll just do it again.
That's awesome.
I'm the one that built the first company. You guys want to take credit for it now. Okay. I'll show you years later.
Yeah. I know how to do this. That's amazing.
Yeah. I think it's just you could sit down and cower and cry in a corner and let people take your life from you, or you can just fight back.
Good for you. Where do you think you got that tenacity from?
I think people are born with it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I think, having my grandfather, both of my grandparents, my opa and my grandpa they were entrepreneurs. They had their own businesses. They were very smart. And I think, part genetics, part upbringing, part just that's who you are.
Yeah.
Maybe the stars aligned, and I'm a Cancer with the Taurus moon. Maybe that had something to play with it. I mean, I have no idea.
You're like, I don't know. I just know what to do and put my head down and do it. Nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah. I think it's just in my nature.
Yeah. Did you know as even a young child, like you wanted to be an entrepreneur? Were you always very that was your focus, or as a young adult, or did you not know until you kind of were in that corporate world at PetSmart and were like, well, maybe not?
I never really loved rules.
Yeah.
Unless I agreed with the rules.
Yeah.
And I tended to get straight A's and mostly U's, which is unsatisfactory in citizenship. I was of the class clown, and I was bored, and I would come up with things. And I had a couple small entrepreneurial ventures when I was young. And but I would have been fine being a controller, and if that was a successful route and did well. But I think life happens the way it's supposed to in most cases.
Absolutely.
And it was probably better suited to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah.
At this point in my life, I would say I'm unemployable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it gets to be, if it's your calling or if it's in your nature to be an entrepreneur, it's very, very hard to switch back or go go back. Yeah. Yeah. As
Once
hard as
you've
it
had
is, because it's a roller coaster. You know, it's sometimes if it's the right fit, it's the right fit.
Yeah.
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 It sounds like you're
Yes.
kind of in the same boat.
Yes. I own a leadership training and development company called You and
okay.
Improved. And so, yes. So same thing, been an entrepreneur for decades now. And it's like, I can't imagine doing anything else, but it's wiring, right? It's just kind of, it's either your thing or it's not. So,
And you probably think, I mean, in your line of business, it's a lot about emotional intelligence.
100%.
Looking at EQ and how can you evolve and develop over the years.
Yeah.
I would definitely say I'm not the same CEO now that I was 10 years ago.
And how so?
I think there's a lot of, be very careful what you put in writing, being cautious on not being too trusting. Make sure you have kind of backup plans and you've thought through things.
Okay.
I also think in terms of emotional intelligence, if someone did something that I didn't agree with, I might have just like, why did you do that? Or, and got mad or sent off emails.
Right.
And I would never do that now.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, help me understand from your point of view. Let's talk through this. If this is a coaching opportunity, here's what I would say you could likely do better. Here's a lot of the things you're really great at. This is your strengths. And how can I bring out the best in you?
Yeah.
And rather than, I don't want to say chastise someone or get down on them, that's not the way to lead them and manage them. It's really like leading, for me, with kindness and care. So it's taken a while to get to that really happy mix, being kind but tough.
Yeah.
People need to know you care and that you're kind, but you can't be, let them walk all over you either.
Right.
And so you have to kind of have a line in the sand. Like, hey, I don't put up with this. I want you to do an exceptional job. I want you to care. And and to me, accountability is huge. If somebody says to me, Jennifer, I'm really sorry, I messed up. I could have done a better job. Here's where I see it, and I'm sorry, and I'll do better next time. I'm like, great, okay, moving on.
Yeah. Yep.
All good.
Yep.
But if they say, well, it's that person's fault, or, oh, it's that person's fault, or, well, I wasn't given this, or I wasn't given this, and they push blame and they start deflecting on other things, that's a really easy way to get me annoyed.
Absolutely. Well, I'm 100% with you, because when we take ownership and over our own role and responsibility and say, hey, you know what, I made a mistake, I'm human, and we own up to it and we figure out solutions on how to be proactive in fixing that. That's different than this being the coat of arms of your company, which never goes well. So his fault or her fault doesn't go well. So I'm with you on that for sure. So now, throughout your journey, were there mentors or folks that kind of took you under their wing, or was it more just trials and tribulations of figuring it out on your own?
Probably the latter.
Yeah, really.
I get asked a lot, did you have any mentors? And again, I think I had amazing grandparents. My mom is very kind. She's very loving. She's very caring. So I got that side of her. My dad is a little more rigid, a little more tough, and into education and making sure that you're intelligent and you're doing a good job. And so I kind of got the best of all of that.
Yeah.
I was a little more independent than my parents probably wanted me to be. I left when I was 17 to go to college. And that was fine for me.
Yeah,
I don't even get this new generation that want to stay at home until they're 30.
Yeah, you're like why would you want to do that?
Some of them don't even get their driver's licenses.
Yeah, that's like a new thing. It's so bizarre to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like the day I turned 16. I was in there. Yeah. Yeah. So crazy. But yeah, it's just different. But so you really went to college, and that was that. You were like flying and, hey, we're going to figure this out.
Yes. And then at Tatum, I did have a woman who ended up going and working with me at my first company. And I loved when I worked under her, she did teach me how to be very professional in emails, how you start an email off with, hi, I hope you're having a nice day, end it nicely, end it professionally. So she taught me a lot about email etiquette. And I loved that she kind of sat on top of the organization, but she didn't have to do a ton of work, like actually the busy work. She delegated very well.
Yeah, she had great leaders to run the different
And I remember if I was to say anyone, I said, that's where I want to be. If I could be running an organization and not having to do a lot of the actual work, but be a great leader, be inspirational, and kind of coach and teach others, that would be a dream. And so now I fast forward. It was cool because I ended up hiring her as one of our CFOs.
That's amazing.
Maybe a decade later.
So great.
She didn't come with me to my second organization, but that's fine. But I always thought it was kind of cool. I'm like, I remember this woman I thought was in such an amazing position that I ended up later hiring.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And now I'm doing that same kind of role.
I
where
love that.
I delegate often.
Well, and you got to see it firsthand and know and kind of have that image of what that looked like for you. So that's fantastic. So what's the future of the company looking like now? You do work all across the U.S., I'm assuming?
We do.
Yeah, okay.
Even some international.
Oh, nice. Good for you. Good for you.
We have several people at the company that speak multiple languages. And so it's easy for us to work internationally. But I would say it's probably more of the nationwide focus, really getting ourselves out there so that companies across the globe and across the nation know that there's a company out there that really cares about getting them accurate and timely financials, good information, just taking care of them.
Yeah.
I think there's way too much, dare I say, greed in this space, but oftentimes it's so much about profits and return on, there's a lot of PE involved in this space. There's a lot of larger CPA firms that are buying up a lot of the smaller privately held companies. And that's not what we care about.
Yeah.
I've always been employees first. Money doesn't drive me. And so to be able to own 100% of the company and say, you know what, we're profitable, but that's not our top priority.
Yeah.
Our top priority is keeping people happy, really taking care of them, really looking out for their bottom line, really trying to do whatever we can to make sure their organization is successful and profitable and that we're giving them good advice.
Yeah.
And so the more people that hear about Optima, the better.
Yeah.
But it's cool because we're not for sale.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many emails and phone calls.
Oh, I'm sure.
And even in-person lunch invites that I've had where companies are very, very interested in purchasing Optima. And I have zero interest in being purchased. Yeah. I'd like to grow another $1 million to $2 million every year. That's my comfort zone. I don't want it to go 3 might be okay if it's a little on the higher level people. But then you have to hire 30, 40 people in a year.
Right.
And I'm very comfortable hiring 20 to 30 every year, growing 2 million a year, give or take $1 million.
Yeah.
And doing that for the next 10 plus years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just helping more people.
This is your
employing.
baby and you're growing more businesses. You're growing your team and their families. So what is it that, with your employees, obviously they're being very near and dear to you and part of your culture. Are there certain things that you have incorporated or do that you feel has really been key to the success in building this incredible team?
I think as a leadership coach, you know all about culture.
Yeah.
And making sure that you have very much defined your culture and the people that you want at your organization. Yeah. And so one of our top values is kind and caring. And so if somebody is a jerk, I don't want them working for us. So I'd like to think we have 108 very kind and caring people that work for Optima. And so it's hiring people that fit your values, teamwork and collaboration, quality and excellence of your work. Just really making sure that you're a good person, you genuinely care and you want to take care of people. Those are the kind of people that we hire. Yeah. And then it's all about retention. Yeah. We've got the right people on the team. How do we retain them? Yeah. And for us, we offer as many benefits as you can think of. And then we do a lot of really fun events. So for example, it was at July. We just did a day at the racetrack.
Oh, fun.
This coming Friday, we're doing a day at the Padres. Oh, nice. And then we have a big anniversary party in October to celebrate 7 years. And then we have kind of do a virtual charcuterie board event for some of the employees that don't live in San Diego. And then in December, we're doing a holiday party. So almost every month, we try to do something fun for our team.
Something that engages everybody, yeah.
And then we do Bonusly. I don't know if you've heard of Bonusly. It's a really cool program where peers and coworkers, they can bonus each other. Everybody gets 150 Bonusly points a month, and you give them out in increments of 50. And so you can give 50 points to 3 different people, or you can give 150 to one person. And so it's a kind of competitive. We've been having this program for years, and it costs us at least 40-something thousand a year, so it's not a cheap program. But it really incentivizes people to, if I go above and beyond, and we use our above and beyond like hashtags or, proactive communication and, teamwork and kindness. And so a lot of our values are incorporated in it.
Fantastic.
And it, it's
Well, it motivates them to also intrinsically look for how do I show up as my best self, but how do I also recognize my peers for great work that they're doing? So that's fantastic.
We have a formal mentor program. We're working on a buddy system, especially for new employees that they don't necessarily need a mentor, but they may have not consulted before or they need help in the field. They, some of our clients can be very, dare I say, difficult or demanding, and some are, they can be really messy. So the books aren't clean,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of fixing to do.
Yeah.
They might need a new ERP system, new processes. They might still have paper time cards and not understand, like, oh my gosh, we could do this in 10 minutes versus 6 hours.
Yeah.
And so it's about education and streamlining and technology. And so that buddy system is great.
Yeah.
And then we do a path to success. It's called the optimal path to success. And so if a senior staff accountant wants to become an accounting manager, or an accounting manager wants to become an assistant controller, and then a controller, and then a director of accounting and finance. And then the final leg really in our world, in outsourced accounting, fractional CFO, is being a CFO.
Yeah.
And so how the path to from controller to CFO is a pretty big jump. It's a lot of experience. You might need to know M&A, transactions. There's so much you need to know to fundraising.
Yeah.
There's a lot to become a CFO. So we've got this path to success too.
Fantastic.
Anything we can do for our employees, we do.
But it's fantastic because those are the differentiators, right? Like you said, the space can get crowded. So what are those things that make Optima, and it's obviously the people and the programming that you have within. Well,
Optimism.
awesome. I love it. Well, I shared with you before we started, I have some fun questions that I want to ask that I love to ask because I think it gives people a little bit of insight into you. So we'll start with this one. What's your favorite word?
My favorite word, efficiency.
Oh, look at that. Right off the top of your head. I love it. Efficiency.
Yes.
Good. Girl likes to get stuff done.
Yeah, I do. And I won't even backtrack.
Yeah.
So if I have to go I'd rather go around in a circle. Like if I wouldn't just go with this and then home, I want to go, okay, I'm gonna go. I like to be efficient. Like, how can I not backtrack? How can I not do something twice? How can we?
So when you got your errands, you've got it mapped out. Like stop 1, stop 2. Oh, that one's by here. So you've got it all mapped out. Oh yeah. I'm with
sure
you.
you are.
100%. I'm like, why would I go there when I'm going to be that? No. We've got to make this completely logical.
Yeah.
Totally get that efficiency. My grandmother, you'll love this. My grandmother, who lived to be 101, she used to say that if she would have been a career woman, she would have been an efficiency expert. And I'm like, I love that because I don't know that that's an actual career, but I love that you created it. I'm sure there's, versions thereof. But yeah, this is like, when I was a little kid, I'm like, I don't know what that means. But now as I reflect back, I'm like, pretty cool.
AI?
Yeah.
Look at AI and efficiency.
100%.
How do we get things done faster, better, stronger?
Yep. She was,
Your
I don't know,
grandma
she was going to do it. Oh,
Yeah.
she would have been all about it. So what is your least favorite word?
Oh, goodness. I don't know. What is your least favorite word?
It has to be, and this is just a big thing in the culture of my company, but try. Because we're very big on either you're doing it or you're not doing it. Are you committed or not? It's like I will do it or I won't do it. So for me, it's try. But
I'll say eventually. And then if you really want to top that off, you can say, we'll figure it out eventually.
Oh.
That's like when?
You're like, you're like, that is A, not efficient, and B, that totally doesn't commit you to anything. Yeah. I get that. I was
going to say.
Yeah? Were you going to say what?
Well, I was trying to think of something that irritates me. I was like, my least favorite thing is people driving slow in the left lane. I don't know if there's a word for that.
Yeah. Annoying.
Not efficient.
Yeah, totally inefficient. Well, definitely. So what would you say for you, Jennifer, turns you on, whether it's creatively, spiritually, emotionally, like what just kind of like gets you revved up?
It might sound cliche, but getting nice emails from our staff that says, I really love working here.
Yeah.
We continue to win Best Place to Work. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's proof. Yeah. It's saying it's validation.
Yes.
Like we're doing something right. Yes. People love working with us. Yeah. And when I get these emails like, oh, thank you so much for everything you do. Mm-hmm. This is a very different, I'm an Optima lifer. Like I want to be here forever. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Like that really makes me
That's so
feel like
wonderful.
We're doing something right.
Yeah. Well, and I know you've received many awards, BBB Torch Award as well. And I think to your point, that internal recognition from your team, you're like, wait, so what we've created really is impactful for them in their lives. So that's extra gratifying when it's internal. So what turns you off?
Well, I think the finger pointing that's not my lane, or no, I can't help with that, and people that are so focused on themselves and what they're doing, and they're not willing to help other people.
Yeah, they get so hyper focused on their role, they're not looking at how do I support others and theirs. Yeah.
And again, I think that's how you make other people feel.
Yeah.
Really into, again, kindness.
Yeah.
Be kind. How do you make other people feel?
Yes.
And so when others are not kind and they're not helpful, and then they also have accountability issues and they're, that's
That's tough.
That doesn't work for me.
Yeah. I get that. Okay. What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, what sound or noise? Oh, my little 3-year-old, when I go and pick him up from school, you've never seen somebody so excited. Mommy. It's so sweet.
Happy.
Mommy, I love you.
Best.
That's,
the best.
love being a mom.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Is he your one and only?
He is.
Fabulous. Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's so fun. So much fun. And
I started late though, because I had him at 43.
Oh,
and
okay.
so if I hadn't started so late, I might have had a second.
Yeah.
But I think one is perfect for my husband and I.
You know
It's
what?
Just the right amount.
It just works out how it's supposed to. I love it. I love that you love that role. That's fantastic. Is there a sound or noise that you cannot stand?
People chewing with their mouth open.
Yeah, not good.
And then trying to talk.
Worst. Yeah.
Like smacking.
You're like, please no. Don't.
almost-
Just chew and swallow that food.
Yeah, I almost rather hear nails on a chalkboard.
Right. You're like, I'll take that over that. I get it. If you had to or got to choose a profession other than your own, skill set aside, like if you had all the talent in the world for that skill, what profession would you choose?
What profession would I choose? Maybe being a makeup artist.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, be
I
fun.
like making people,
Make people look pretty.
I'm decent at doing makeup.
Yeah.
I may not have done it.
You are. You look fabulous.
But I used to do it back in the day.
Okay.
I did a couple weddings and I
So fun.
did people's photo shoots. And,
Okay.
when all my girlfriends would go out at night,
Yeah. You were the one. You were the one doing all the faces.
I'd have a line, do everybody's makeup.
I love
fun.
it.
You should make people feel better and look better.
Yeah.
And
Feel good about themselves.
there's not really a wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
You can always put makeup remover to do
Yeah,
it.
exactly. You're like, I can't mess this up.
Definitely not a hairdresser though, because I'm not good at hair.
Yeah, there you go. And if there's a profession other than your own that you think, oh my gosh, well, not other than your own, but a profession that you think, oh my gosh, I would just, could never do it.
Being like an elevator operator.
I don't know that I've ever heard that one, but wow. Yeah, that would be a little monotonous.
Because you just sit there and there's no, I mean, I guess unless you're like the Empire State Operator where you get to look outside, but there's not a lot of windows and fresh air.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of random people and germs in a closed space.
Yeah, you're like, no. You get enough of that from the preschooler, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, God.
Like, I don't need that in a little
Yeah.
petri dish of an elevator. Absolutely. So, Jennifer, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You made me proud.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Just you're a good person.
Yeah. Well, clearly leading with kindness and empathy and caring and all the good things and creating a culture for your team and then all obviously the client experience that you create, obviously making them feel comfortable and secure and they know that their books and their HR and all their stuff is done.
Yeah,
I mean,
all the stuff they don't want to do.
yeah, all the stuff they don't want to do is done. You're doing great work. So thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here. Can you give us one whether it's a leadership tip or a word of wisdom or anything to wrap us up that you think would be beneficial for our listeners that maybe has been influential or instrumental for you?
I think it's really important to focus on bringing out the best in people.
Yeah.
And so how can you do that? Because every single person on your team wants to be treated differently.
Yeah.
Nobody's the same.
Yeah.
And so it's really understanding what motivates people and then how can you bring out the best in them so that they want to do good work. They want to stay with you.
Yeah.
There's that new term polyworking, right? Where people aren't really happy with their positions. They might have 2 or 3 full-time jobs. They're barely dedicating time and they don't really care about any of them.
Yeah.
And
Just doing little bits everywhere to.
Yeah, and they partially blame the employers for allowing it, not having accountability, and really not having that leadership inspiration to their team where they actually really want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, fantastic. I love that. I think that's helpful for anyone as a good reminder. So thank you for that. Thank you for being on the show today. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Great talking with you.
Absolutely. Likewise. Well, this has been the Leadership Lowdown. My name is Jodi Low. Thank you for being with us. Remember, leaders are learners, so keep leading with love. And remember, you can catch our show every Thursday morning. And the best way to keep up with new episodes is to subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere that you listen to podcasts.